Welcome to CivilNet. Today I'm joined by Arin Karapet, who is a member of the Swedish Parliament. He is currently in Armenia, so let's find a little more about his story. So Arin, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
I want to start off by asking why you are in Armenia, and also can you tell us a bit about your Armenian roots?
Well, it's not a hard question to answer because my both parents are Armenian and I speak Armenian. So for me, it's like I have two homes. It's Sweden, where I'm born, and Armenia, where I have my roots. So for me, it's like I come here for vacation. I have a lot of friends, a lot of families who came here during the 60s, 70s from Iran. And after Armenia's independence, some of them moved to Armenia. So it's like I'm trying to connect with my roots. So, and I love to be in Armenia because Armenia is changing, you know. It's not a landlocked country anymore. Like I would say, like if you look at the tourism, I met people from Kenya, from Latin America. You would never see that in Armenia 10 years ago. Armenia is becoming a part of the world. So,
and it's somewhere you travel to regularly every now and then when you can. So, can you tell us a bit about your journey into Swedish politics? You were elected in 2018 in the general elections. You are a member of the moderate party, which has governed Sweden multiple times. So, I want to know, what is your story? How you ended up as a member of parliament in Sweden?
Well, actually, it was at high school. Every political party in Sweden has their youth party. It's from 12 years age to 30 years old. So, actually, my parents, they're very political. So, I was born and raised in a home when, you know, having political discussions were very common. But actually, my father, he was a leftist, and I'm not. So I'm liberal conservative. So I joined the biggest liberal conservative party, or actually, we just have one liberal conservative party in Sweden. You have center liberal or Christ Democrats. So I joined them when I was 17 years old because I wanted to make a change. I don't like when people complain. It's okay, it's your right to complain, but then what's next? So I joined the youth party, and then I continued to study at university, and then I had my job as an insurance broker. So 2014 I was elected in the county region, and since then 2017 I made a decision, like I will do my best. I want to try to run in the national elections. So I was elected 2018. So, well, I'm 33 now. It's like 16 years of my life.
Mm-hmm. And are there any other Armenians in the Swedish Parliament, in Swedish politics?
Not in the Swedish Parliament. It was one before, from the Green Party. And Elizabeth Dingesyan, and she was a deputy speaker. I think she was a member of the Swedish Parliament for 12 years, but she left the Parliament 2018. So when I was elected, she left. But it has nothing but
your past
she retired. So, but we have contact still. We disagree on a lot when it comes to Swedish politics, but I can call her whenever I want. So.
Okay. And do you ever front Armenian causes in the Swedish Parliament? Can you tell us about how Armenian causes may be received in the Swedish Parliament and by the government, and anything also related to the war, the Second Karabakh War of 2020? What reactions did you see within Swedish politics to that war?
I would say since Armenia become a democracy, I mean, like, not a democracy on the paper, actually 2018 when you had free and transparent elections, it was the first time I think both Swedes and Europeans acknowledge, okay, there is some hope in Armenia. But new politics takes time. It's not like, okay, you had an election and it was democratic and let's be best friends, you know. So I would say Europe looked, the view of Armenia changed, but it takes time. Even, okay, I have Armenian roots. I know much more about what's happened in Armenian history, but I cannot expect that 348 other members of the Swedish parliament should have that mindset day two, like, so it's changing. That's why I would say the European approach when it comes to investments in Armenia with Eastern Partnership, I think we will talk about that. They want to invest 2.6 billion euro. That shows that Europe wants to deepen their relationship with Armenia. But politics takes time.
So what do you think this means, this 2.6 billion euros? Because there's been a lot of talk in Armenia about it. Part of the funds will even be directed to the southern region of Syunik, which has been at the center of many headlines in Armenia. How do you see the EU's move now with this massive investment?
Well, I think that everyone who have been in Armenia and just go out from Yerevan, just look at the roads, the infrastructures. If you don't have properly infrastructure or railways, the economy won't boom. And every country who wants to be successful when it comes to economy, because when you have economic growth, it means you get tax money for funding education, healthcare, take care of the elderly, etc., etc. I mean, you have more resources to reform the police, the institutions. Then you need the infrastructures. You know, if it takes like 3 hours to go with a car from Yerevan to Gumri, for example, and you build new roads and it takes 1.5 hours. Armenia has a lot of villages, so these farmers, they're gonna sell their, I don't know, what they produce. Time is money. So if you have properly infrastructure, it's not only the big cities you will see economic growth, you will also see that in the villages. And actually, that has been the main problem in Armenia. There have not been any proper infrastructures. So it means that the economic growth you were expecting, you won't have it. So I think, and small enterprises, you know, every time I am in Armenia, I meet young students, like in tech. I wish we had this kind of students in Sweden. Sweden is a great tech hub, but I'm thinking like if we had these girls and boys who are into tech in Armenia in Sweden, I think we would boom more in Sweden. So Armenia has a know-how, but you have to take care of it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And how do you see the situation in Armenia politically, in a sense, even though the country suffered a military defeat in 2020, elections were held on June 20th, and numerous international observer bodies said that the elections were conducted in a manner that was free and fair, and the Civil Contract Party has formed a majority government now. So how do you see democratization progressing in Armenia?
Every time you look in the long term in history, every country that there is, you know, democracy, freedom, most of those countries are prosperous. So Armenia is going through a hard time, but the citizens of Armenia said that, okay, Armenia was defeated in the war, but we won't give away our freedom, our democracy. And they went to the ballots. There were no civil war or there were those two civil contracts, and the opposition had their rallies in the public square, and then you had the election on Sunday, and the citizens of Armenia made their choice, and now Armenia is moving forward, because you cannot build a country on corruption or being a successful country on corruption or oppressing your citizens, rights to express their opinion or who they're gonna vote for. That country is doomed to fail. To be honest, Armenia was a failed state, but because for so many years the institutions were not independent, it was corruption, all educated people left Armenia. I've seen myself. I always tell people, like, why are well-educated Armenians moving to Europe or US and cleaning toilets or stores, and they have 2 diplomas? Why aren't they in Armenia and rebuilding Armenia? So that shows that a lot of things didn't work in Armenia before, and you need to take you need to make these hard steps to be successful. Otherwise, the well-educated youth who are 19, 20, 25 now, who are the future of Armenia, they will leave.
And I'm also curious how you see the prospects of Armenia-Sweden relations. I mean, Sweden has been one of those countries, for example, their embassy is quite involved in civil society initiatives in Armenia. The head of the OSCE Minsk group now, co-chairs, is the foreign minister of Sweden. How do you see the prospects of Armenia and Sweden's relationship?
I think that Sweden can contribute to Armenia in several things, like building the institutions, like you have the reforming the police, you can the law and enforcement. That's quite important. If you don't have rule of law, the state won't work. And you have to, in Sweden, you have a long tradition of contributing to the civil society, because everything cannot, the state has its function, but you also have the civil society, like domestic violence. It is a problem in Armenia. And it will take time to reform the state and the institutions, but still there are people who are affected of domestic violence, and you have different NGOs and who are working with women and children who are suffering that type of violence. So that's an example, like how Sweden can contribute to raise that question. And you have environment and etc., etc. So I think a successful country is when civil society is contributing to the state or the region, the government policies.
And finally, Sweden will hold general elections next year, it looks like, and this could see the moderate party form a government. So I'm curious how you see your future in Swedish politics. Are you planning to stay the course in the Riksdag, or do you have other plans?
Well, my plan is now to be re-elected. So this coming months, every party put their own list. So first have the members of the moderate party in Stockholm they're going to vote, do I still have their trust or not? I hope so. And then we go to the general elections next year. So if I still have the members of my party's trust and confidence and from the citizens of Sweden, I will be re-elected. If I don't have, I need to do something else.
Okay. Well,
it's easy as that. So.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for your time as well.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.